Hello, it is Throwback, Thursday, March 19th, 2020. Steve Sipress here. Do you remember the good old days for business owners when the economy was booming and business owners were happy and fat, well-fed, hanging out, if not arrogant, that everything is great. Why do I need to do anything as far as implementing some marketing or advertising systems? Well, of course, today's Throwback Thursday is not too long ago. Toby is here, is it? A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Let me tell you a little story to illustrate it. So I have a client that for about the past 10 years or so has developed an amazing, miraculous system that helps restaurant and bar owners fill their establishment with a few clicks of a button anytime they want and have their parking lots full and lower their food costs and get tons of feedback and testimonials and word of mouth, and just business grows like crazy. Well, I did a little experiment for him. I was hosting a business incubation group right here in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area that I called CEO Scottsdale, and I did that for a few months, just last year, from late summer to till the end of the year. And I was hosting the meetings twice a month right in an area called Old Town Scottsdale. Now, if you haven't been here or haven't heard of it, or if I'm sure you can look it up now that there's the internet, but that is the number one bar and restaurant hopping, club going, happening place to go in the entire Phoenix, Scottsdale area, and this is the fifth largest city in America. So it is non-stop restaurants and bars for blocks and blocks on end. And I decided to help my client do a test. He made up some flyers and I printed them out. And, well, Toby's here, so Toby knows I did 9 years of door-to-door sales, so I had no problem taking these flyers and just going in and cold calling into restaurant after restaurant and bar after bar and talked to him a little bit and handing him the flyer. And of course, I purposely went in the afternoon around 2, 3 o'clock when the place is empty, in between lunch and dinner and before the going out time. I did it on a Thursday. And I figured I wouldn't even find any of the owners and maybe not even the managers there, but there'd be staff. You know, they were setting up the tables and cleaning up and getting ready for a big night. And I went around and handed out these flyers. A couple of places were closed, but most were open. And man, if I didn't get the cold shoulder, the roll of the eyes, such arrogance. A few of them actually looked at the flyer and said, like we need that. Understand the foot traffic here, and every single one of these places is packed every night, and we just rake in the cash. Like, what are you doing? That's a couple of managers actually said that to me, and there was one owner that I met, and obviously the sharpest guy of the day, the actual business owner, and and so he looked at the flyer and said, so this system works. Does it work for special events? And he was having a special event right at that time. There was a few ladies with some racks of clothes, and someone was giving a presentation, and people were like, the women were like trying on something or whatever. So this guy was sharper than a lot of the other business owners. Again, their place was empty and just had a bunch of kids cleaning out the glasses and setting up the place. He was hosting an event during that downtime and making some money. So he looked at me and said, I don't need this for traffic any night of the week. This place is packed. But will it work to bring people in for a special event? I'm like, it'll work for anything. So I then told my client, by the way, that I had handed out 20-something flyers in about an hour, and I had talked to this one owner and got his business card and said I'd personally have the owner of the company, the person who built the software and the whole system, to give him a call. And I checked in with my client soon after that, and he said, yeah, we did a demo for the guy, but he didn't get it. And so basically, none of them got it. And the rest who had gotten the flyers, even if the managers or the employees put it on their desk, like I asked, they said they would, it's likely they all threw it out with the same arrogant, what do I need this for, business is booming mentality. Well, why don't we skip ahead a little bit to a few months, but it could have been in a matter of a couple of weeks. And suddenly, it's amazing and pretty pathetic how easily Americans are brainwashed to just give up all of our freedoms. And little aside, I checked in with a neighborhood Facebook group here of people who live in the area, not business owners. See, I'm reminded why I only associate with entrepreneurs and business owners, and sharp, forward-thinking, aggressive ones at that. Not the meek ones that just want to survive or get by, or, that's not me. And certainly not non-entrepreneurs, because they are just incredibly ridiculous people. And sure enough, in this group, man, they were dutifully parroting the talking points of the ruling class that has ruled at their own whim that none of us are to enjoy our life for the foreseeable future, depending on, of course, however long they want to do it. Or really, I think it'll depend on however long Americans, until they wake up and put up with this nonsense and wake up and go, wait a minute, what are you, crazy? But they were parroting this stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. And Y2K is going to shut down every computer and planes are going to fall out of the sky. And like, give me a break. And they were like, well, but we're all in this together. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what they brainwashed you to believe. And you're actually saying that as if it's your responsibility somehow. And, we all have to sacrifice and do what's best. And then you got Trump coming out. I don't know, I haven't turned on the news for a while, but it was yesterday, the day before. It all blends into one another. Came out and brilliantly, like any good despotic authoritarian leader wants to do, which is basically anyone in power in politics, came out and said, this is war. I'm a wartime president. Very convenient a few months before an election, because it's of course, nothing is the way it's supposed to be in politics in the Trump era, but supposedly the rule is, you don't change presidents in time of war. So that's how FDR got 4 terms, and that's how George Bush got a second term, and, who knows if that's how Obama got. I mean, completely inept presidents getting second terms, and in Roosevelt's case, getting a third and a fourth term to wreck the economy even more. Talk about, the New Deal. You think the Green New Deal is bad. We already have the New Deal to look at, and it was horrendous. Extended the Depression by probably a decade. Just really ruined the economy, and we're still suffering from it. But anyway, boy, I'm digressing all over the place. Anyway, so they're parroting these talking points. They're like, we're all in this together, and we need to sacrifice. And then one guy said, because I just kept putting back, I'm like, yeah, you're out of your mind. What are you talking? Don't be ridiculous. And one guy said, well, with my chest condition, I'm really susceptible. And if I catch it, it could be really dangerous, this virus. And I was like, yes, there you go. See, now you should self-quarantine. You should stay in your house, in your basement, not have contact with anybody until this thing blows over in a few weeks, in a few months. You should stay in your house and watch March Madness and watch Major League Baseball. And what? Oh, that's right. That's right. None of those things are being played. Perfectly healthy people are not able to do anything, can't go out to eat. I mean, if you live in a ridiculous, pro-big government loving liberal city or state or whatever, like California, New York, Illinois, and I'm sure elsewhere, pretty much every big city is run by ridiculous liberals who love big government. They're ruling all over the place. Now it's martial law. There's a curfew, and you're not even allowed to go out, and everything is closed, and shutter inside, stay at home, whatever they call it. Like, excuse me, last I checked, this is America. You out of your mind? I mean, at first I know these liberals want to take away the Second Amendment, but they really want to take away the First Amendment too. Like, if you say something we don't like, you don't have the right to free speech. And now we don't have the right to assemble. Oh, we all got to stay alone. We got to do social distancing. That's a good one. Give me a break. But anyway, because of that, what do you think's happening to all these restaurants that are in that hottest area of Scottsdale, Old Town Scottsdale? There ain't a soul in sight. There is nobody there. I mean, right now, as I record this, it's a little after 8 o'clock on a Thursday night. Places are probably just all closed. And tomorrow is Saturday night. Instead of raking in 30 grand a night and, just having a party, they'll be totally closed. So now, do you think they might be able to use my client's system? Because, of course, my client system, which was designed originally and functioned for 10 years to bring people into the restaurant. Well, now I talked to my client the other day, and he is having a field day. It was pulling teeth. Like I said, you get looks and rolled eyes from restaurants, especially during the boom we had during the Trump boom for the last 3 years. They're like, Trump's in office, you idiot. The economy's booming. This isn't the Obama days. We don't need any kind of system of marketing or advertising. People are coming in like crazy. Economy's booming, and it's not just restaurant owners. It's you. If you're watching this, you can admit it. It's every single business owner over the last few years, pretty much, was sitting there going like, I don't really have to do anything. I mean, money is flowing. The business is booming. Trump's in office. Obama's gone. Things are great. Happy days are here again. Well, I talked to my client, and sure enough, of course, he went into the system and changed things over to promote takeout. And he's having all kinds of consultations and training sessions with his clients who have never done takeout before. Well, now you're doing takeout. He said, well, you told me how it went. They don't get it at all. But he's like, so the first thing you got to figure out is what's your takeout menu? So what's available for takeout? And he's like, oh, they just sit there and go, well, everything. No, not everything on the menu is available for takeout. What are you talking about? You pick like 6 dishes, maybe. And that's it. So they're making only that. I mean, think of a McDonald's or a KFC or any of the systematized businesses. Like, sure, McDonald's tried to mix salads and nobody orders that crap. It's burgers, cheeseburgers, and fries and Cokes, and that's it. And so you have a few things on the menu, and that way your cooks can, people call and, man, that thing is delivered really quick. And your food costs, you're just ordering a lot of just a few items. Everybody's real efficient. Everybody's good at that. So first he has to train them on the whole shift to takeout, but then he just puts his system into use, and he's like, wow, they're busier than they ever been. Why? Because it's a competitive edge, right? Because all the other restaurants, and if any of these restaurants, for instance, in this Old Town Scottsdale, had been smart enough to take him up on that offer and actually check out my flyer and use the system right now, instead of being shuttered and closed and laying people off and having to fire everybody and wondering about going bankrupt, they would be raking in the cash flow like you wouldn't believe. They would be having the most bang-up takeout business there is because no other restaurant around them. I mean, how do you get the word out we're doing takeout? There's nobody even walking by. There's nobody even, what are you going to, you can spend a lot of money on advertising, I guess, to convince people. Meanwhile, every minute you're spending money on advertising to cold traffic and trying to convince strangers. Anyone with my client system has a list of thousands of restaurant and bar goers who love it, and it sends out irresistible offers. And hey, with every takeout order of this, you get that, and boom, phone rings off the hook. The few that are still open, he's like, man, their parking lot's so packed, they're parking across the street in the closed restaurant's parking lot and coming over to his, and on and on. So that's just that's just one story, and I could go on forever. But that's just one story of the difference from just a few weeks ago, when everyone was so complacent as a business owner. What do I need you for, Steve? I don't need to go to helpfromsteve.com. I don't need your help. I don't need to brainstorm some ideas. I don't need to put some things into use. No matter what I do, we're making money. The economy's booming. Go away. And now it's flipped so much in the other direction that people are now ashamed to go to helpfromsteve.com and call me. Otherwise, my calendar would be totally packed. Look, there's no shame in it. I mean, of course, lots of times you hear marketers, because it's a smart phrase to go, gee, it's not your fault. Well, of course it's your fault, but so what? Be a man, be a woman, put your big pants on, and go to helpfromsteve.com and admit, yeah, I screwed up, and I don't have systems in place, and I'm not sure what to do in this changing economy. Because by the way, if you think when this whole quarantine martial law brainwashing by the ruling class ends, I hope you don't think that things are going back to the way they were. They are not. People are, talk about restaurants, people are loving the idea of like, wait a minute, I like this takeout thing. It's the same reason that Netflix and Redbox and whatever took on, because people are like, wait a minute. I like sitting in my comfortable chair, in my comfortable home, using my own comfortable bathroom if I feel like it, and not having to worry about making a reservation, getting all dressed and going somewhere, and having some noisy person at the table next to me, or some guy smoking a cigar. Well, you can't smoke anymore in these restaurants, but some crying baby over here, or we have to wait 45 minutes, or anything. I just like just calling up and getting the stuff brought right to me with the white glove treatment, and I can eat it in the comfort of my own home, and people are going to keep doing that, okay? And as far as, I got another client, he has the largest networking, independent networking group in the entire state of Arizona. Well, guess what? The meetings are now virtual. They're online. Well, you think when this martial law brainwashing over, you have to self-quarantine, social distance BS is over, people are going to say, yeah, I really prefer having to get dressed and drive an hour and then go see people in person. But no, I really prefer this. All I got to do is sit here at my computer, turn it on, and I can attend one work meeting here for an hour and another one for an hour. I can do 3, 4 in a day now. I can network with 100 people instead of just 15 or 20. Man, it is not going back to the way it was, okay? So, are you prepared? Are you making money? Are you putting things in place to make money during this time? Or are you going to be one of the so many people? I did see something on the news while I was flipping through the last time, and they had a bunch of business owners on to complain and piss and moan about how rough it was and how they're laying people off and how there's nothing they can do. And, we've got to wait till this blows over. We need loans and grants and tax deferments, and we're still not going to make it, and blah blah blah. And I hate to fire my longtime employees. I hate to look in their eyes. I hate to do this, but without clients and customers and patients and members coming in, there's nothing we can do. Yes, there is plenty you can do. I'm just sitting there going like, oh, obviously they selected these people for their own agenda and their own bias to keep trying to convince the masses, which they have convinced, but keep up the charade that you have to self-distance and self-quarantine and times are tough and we're all in it together. They certainly didn't call, if they would have called any of my clients, they certainly would not have allowed them on the air to come on and go like, are you kidding me? This is better for making money in a downtime than it ever is during a boom time. And that's the reason why. Because at least 80% of business owners right now are curled up in a ball in the corner, crying and pissing and moaning that times are tough and what am I going to do? And very few of them are saying, man, this is when fortunes are made. If that's you, or if you want it to be you, I'm offering you some help at no charge. Don't know how much longer I'll do this, but I enjoy doing it, so I'm going to keep doing it. But if you don't take me up on it right now and you're just going to sit there and curl up in a ball, actually, you got to think why. Because it's serving you more. You're getting more attention, and you're not even have to work hard, and everyone just feels sorry for you. And so everyone goes, oh, I understand. But man, you have the key to riches. You own your own business. Go to helpfromsteve.com or go find somebody else that for decades has been helping thousands and thousands of business owners to make money. I've done it through all kinds of downturns and emergencies before. Not only is this one, I was going to say it's no different, it actually is. It's more pronounced. This isn't some economic turndown. This is some manufactured closing up of the whole country by the ruling class. And yet, there are businesses that are absolutely crushing it, and that can be you. All right, that'll do it. Let's. Gary Morris says, well set, gold. I don't see any other questions, comments, concerns. Way to go, Gary. I'm sure you are crushing it, and I'm sure you get it. And even if you are crushing it, those are especially the people that go to helpfromsteve.com and get on the phone with me. Maybe it's just a 5-minute conversation. You've heard the saying, a little hinges swing big doors. Like for someone that is crushing it, is aggressive, and is out there making hay while the sun shines, while most business owners think, oh, this is a dark time. No, the sun is shining more than it ever does during a boom time. It shines during a downtime for the few that take advantage, because there's still ridiculous amounts of money out there. I heard somebody say the other day on the news, oh, they think that the economy will contract about 15%. That's monumental. I'm like, yes, that's an excellent negative way of looking at it. How about that means 85% of the money that was being spent a month ago in a boom time, is still being spent now. 85% of the cash is still flying around out there. And yet, at least 80% of business owners are curled up in a ball in the corner saying, whoa, gee, times are tough. Like, holy crap, there is so much money for the taking for someone who will just take the right steps and go get it. Any type of business, I don't care what. In fact, prove me wrong. Go to helpfromsteve.com, we'll get on the phone, and you try and come up with a single type of business that I can't give you some concrete steps to take to have the biggest boom you've ever had in your business. Go ahead, prove me wrong. Anyway, that'll do it for Throwback Thursday. Thanks everyone being here live. Thanks for watching on the replay. Have a fantastic continuing your boom if you're taking advantage, or enjoy your curled up in a ball social distancing. That's what the government ruling class says. Notice how they deliver the message, standing shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. I mean, it's Trump and like 9 inept, hypocritical bureaucrats behind him who've screwed this thing up every way to Sunday. And they are telling you, you need to do social distancing. Last I checked, you guys are shoulder to shoulder, less than an inch apart, but you're telling us we got to do social distancing. Sure we do. Give me a break. Or, it's just like Bernie Sanders coming off his private jet going, we need the Green New Deal. I mean, this ruling class, and yet it works. They got people, the masses are brainwashed. So hopefully you, as a business owner, are not participating in that brainwashing, and you are not deciding not to be one of the brainwashed, feeble masses that just allow the government on a whim, or of course they come up with Steve, this is a valid reason. This isn't just a whim. Oh, be quiet. Will you study some persuasion, some manipulation, some human behavioral psychology, some salesmanship, and then tell me that this isn't masterful manipulation by the ruling class? They got everybody right under their thumb. I know that every day they're sitting there talking, they're going, oh, that would be too far. We can't go that far, or we can't jump to that far. We got to gradually do this and then that and this. People won't accept it. First, we got to close this. Then we can close that. Then we'll close this. Then we'll tell them they can't even come out of their house. Like, if they would have said just immediately a month ago, hey, you're all quarantined, can't come out, nobody would have listened. But anyway, I won't get into the details about persuasion and manipulation, but if that's what you want to talk about, we'll have a lot of fun with that too, and that will absolutely, you put it into place, what I can share with you, that will put a lot of money in your pocket. So I love small business owners. I love entrepreneurs. I love to help you make money, and there is easier money being made now and more of it than during any boom time could be. And my beautiful wife Michelle is here, very nice. That'll do it for Throwback Thursday. In fact, that's probably a hint to stop the video, Steve, and come back and be with me and watch a movie. And that's what I'm going to do. Enjoy this phenomenal money-making and positioning for the future time that it is for all sharp, aggressive, forward-thinking business owners. Go to helpfromsteve.com if you want some help to do it. And I'll catch you tomorrow on Foundation Friday. Over and out. Bye-bye.